Hello and welcome to Unit 2, Supply and Demand. And in this unit we're going to spend a lot of time learning about supply and demand and all the different things that make up supply and demand, influence supply and demand, how prices are determined, how prices may change, how government can intervene, lots and lots of different things when it comes to supply and demand. So the most basic thing that we can start with supply and demand is just a simple sort of an example. And in this example, we're just going to use a good, and that good is going to be, let's say, just a can of soda. All right, so we have this can of soda right here. Let's say it's a can of Coke, and this Coke is for sale. Okay, we're going to have an auction for this Coke. So we have this one Coke, it's for sale, and we're going to start the bidding, and we're going to keep track of this, and we're going to see how many people are willing and able, let's say willing and able to purchase this good at a variety of prices. So we're going to keep track of these things with the price and then the quantity of people that are willing to purchase the good. So what we could do is say, okay, well, at a price of, let's say 10 cents, right? So if we say our price is 10 cents, and we say, well, how many people would buy at 10 cents? Would it be a lot, or would it be very few people? And well, at a price, there's just one good, and if I were to say it's 10 cents, we might have all these different people stand up and say, I'll buy, right? At 10 cents, sure, I'll buy it. And so we might get a quantity of, let's just say, 20 people that would buy at 10 cents. Now, what do you assume is going to happen? What do you assume is going to happen to the number of people that are not only willing but able to buy a Coke if we increase the price? So if we push the price of Coke up, what happens to the quantity demanded of people willing and able to buy at this auction? Why do they auction the price up? Because what happens is the quantity demanded is going to fall, right? So if we go to 20 cents, we can assume that maybe it drops down to 15. So why? Why does that take place? Well, there's really kind of two things at play here. One is called the income effect, and the other one is called the substitution effect. Okay, so the income effect is really, I start to feel poorer when the price gets pushed higher, right? I can't afford it as much. I can't afford as many. I feel poor. I don't have less money, but my money goes less. It goes not as far as it would have otherwise when when the price was at 10 cents. Okay, so that's the income effect. The income effect is I buy less because I feel poor. The substitution effect, on the other hand, is, you know what, there might be something else out here that I can buy. I'm going to substitute other goods in for this good, right? And so I'm going to switch this good out for another good. And so the quantity demanded of this good that we're talking about is going to go down because of kind of these two factors that are at play. All right? And there's more complex ways to analyze this, but these are going to be the two explanations that we have as to why is there this relationship between price and quantity. So let's play this out a couple more times. What happens if we push the price up to 30 cents? Well, maybe this drops down to 10. And if we push it up to 40 cents, it drops down to 5. And if we push it up to 50 cents, it drops down to, let's just say, 0, right? So there's this, what we call this inverse relationship when it comes to the demand for this good. There's an inverse relationship between the price and the quantity, right? And that's what happens at auctions. The price of the good is auctioned up until there's basically nobody left, or one person left typically in an auction. So when the price goes up, the quantity demanded goes down, and when the price goes down, the quantity demanded goes up, right? So we can follow this either direction, right? So we can follow this going this way, or we can follow this going this direction, right? And so when the price is going up, the quantity demanded is going down, or when the price is going down, the quantity demanded is going up. An inverse relationship between those two things. So what we can do with that is what we want to kind of end up doing is showing this in a bit of a graphic form, right? So we often want to kind of change things into models, and so we're gonna model this setup that we have. Now we should kind of have a general idea of something that has an inverse relationship when it comes to I guess I could put y here, x here, something that has an inverse relationship here, right? Which that means is if this one is going up, this one is going down, or if this one is going down, this one is going up, right? There's an inverse relationship between those two things. So what are those two things? Well, in economics, y, let me erase this one, y is always going to be price, right here, right? We'll take a guess at what the other one is going to be, right? So one is price and the other one is quantity, right? So x is going to be quantity, right? And so now what we do is we can graph all this other stuff that we had over here, right? All this stuff over here. So we can graph these kind of points that are related to each other. So this 10 cents and 20, this 20 cents and 15, we can kind of graph these things. So let's start at the 10 cents. So at 10 cents, we know that we had the highest quantity. So this quantity kind of way out here. So we can call that one 20. We also know when the price went up, the quantity went down that direction. So at 20 cents, we had a quantity of 15. So we can kind of plot this number at 15 right there, right? And then this one went up, this one went down. This was at 30 cents, and we were at 10, something like that. Something about there. And then we were at 40 cents and 5, so something about there. And then we were at like 50 cents and 0, so something kind of like that. And we had this line about like that. So this is a demand curve. What a demand curve shows is price and quantity. It shows the inverse relationship, this negatively sloped curve. This demand curve, the negatively sloped demand curve, shows the relationship between price and quantity, right? So when price goes up, quantity goes down, and when price goes down, quantity goes up, okay? So one of the things is, one of the key ideas, key concepts, what changes quantity demanded? All right, what changes the quantity demanded for a good? Well, our answer is price changes the quantity demanded. Price does. Okay? So this is all happening within this model, right? It's all happening kind of, if you think of this graphic over here as a model, all that stuff is happening within the model, right? So price and quantity are happening within the model. But there are things that can happen outside of this model. And in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up on this idea of not inside factors, right? So what changes price? Quantity changes price, right? Those are inside factors. Those are inside the model. We're going to pick up on an idea of what are the outside factors. What are things not price and quantity that would change, not quantity demanded, but the demand for the good? Okay, so we're going to kind of define that and pick that up in the next video.